Okay, I was gone for a minute, but I'm back now. Sit the fuck back down. Feel like everybody nowadays Hollywood. Oh, it's like that now? I'ma show you motherfuckers how to act now. I'ma show them how to act. I'ma show you.
Hey guys, my name is Kev and welcome to today's video. As some of you guys may know, I worked as a software engineer intern this past summer and I even made a day in the life video, so go check it out if you haven't. A lot of you seem to like it and even asked me how I was able to land a position. Well, I guess it's just one person. Thank you for your support in the channel. So today I'm going to walk you guys through exactly how I was able to land an internship with a Silicon Valley startup. And while I tell you this journey, I'll also be making a journey of my own. I'll be flying back to Toronto. It's currently 5 in the morning. I'm dead tired, but my flight boards in 2 hours. So I'll talk to you guys a bit more when I land in Toronto.
Okay, now picture little Bobby, just a youngin' run around with his man's hammer in his hand, feeling like a man. Run, motherfucker, run, put a poke, get the gun, put it to your brain like goddamn. Everybody know you ain't about it, everything you talk about, I know I can live without it. Red light, stop, green light, go, everything ain't what it seem like, motherfucker, I know. Hold up, what you mean, what you damn, bitch, I've been in, this is merely the beginning again. What you been living in, the box under the bridge, like Anthony Kiedis, looking for something to complete us, and maybe lead us, fucking the leaders. Hell up a long way from equal as how they treat us, body of a builder with the mind of a fetus. Turn on the television and see the vision they feed us, and I wish I could erase that face facts. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know how I go. Everybody people, everybody bleed, everybody needs some, everybody love, everybody know.
Just got to campus and I don't know if it's the people or something about the air, but it just hits different than my hometown and I'm so glad to be back. Now it's time to talk about applications. I must say, I was completely unaware of the timeline and applied very late into the semester. I think I sent out my first application in early November. And some of you guys hearing this might think, that is so early to be applying for a position in the following summer. That's almost half a year in advance. And that's what I thought too, but a lot of these positions actually open up in late August, almost a year in advance before the internship actually starts. These applications are usually reviewed on a rolling basis, and because I applied so late, I got rejected from a lot of them, but I mostly got ghosted. Recruiters, please notice me. I promise not to brain out your system for more than 2 hours. It was also around this time when I discovered LeetCode and realized almost everything I was learning in school is absolutely useless when it comes to job hunting. Maybe there's some practicality when you actually have the job, but when it comes to getting interviews, all you really have to do is grind LeetCode. On top of that, my resume was weak and outdated at best. The only technical job I had was a part-time assistant at a networks lab I held over the previous summer. It also didn't help that all the applications I sent out were external. I just went on a company website and clicked apply. My university didn't really have a system set up for summer internships. There is an online job board, but it's pretty much useless as most of the postings just tell you to apply on the company website anyway. Damn you, Waterloo kids and your Waterloo works. With my late applications, no prior knowledge of technical interview problems, and no technical skills whatsoever to show off on my resume, I was still at the starting line while many others have already finished the race, got an offer for next summer, and chilling. It was time to get my shit together. Every night I would practice an hour of LeetCode, apply to as many internships as I could find on LinkedIn, and even set aside some time to learn React and other relevant technologies used in the industry. I made major revisions to the layout and content of my resume twice, and whenever I had the chance, I would go to career fairs, conferences, or tech talks. I must say, I mostly went to those not to get an internship, but for the free stuff and the free food. You might ask, where did I get all this time from? What about school? One could say my poor habits of skipping class and being behind on material stems from this period in time. I definitely put school at the bottom of my priority list. Over the course of 3 months, I had applied to 300 positions. I have it all documented on a spreadsheet, so I don't waste time reapplying to a position I had already applied to. And those are just the ones that I counted. There's probably even more than that. I was able to solve and complete roughly 100 LeetCode problems, and after all this time spent up holed up in my room, practicing, countless nights with minimal sleep. Out of 300 companies, only 9 thought I was good enough to get an interview. 9. That's a 3% acceptance rate. But as you'll see, all it takes is one good offer and you're set for the summer.
My brothers, one day we gon' make it. We just gotta grind for that paycheck. Mama told me one day I'll be famous. Remember when she used to say she hate this? Back then they would laugh when I say shit. Now I'm inside all them people's playlists. So one day I'll be stomping on them stages. But right now we just dancing in the basement. Right inside the basement. Said it's 4 a.m. Still at wavy tweaking bases. Learn this shit ourselves.
Just got back to my condo building. I'm kind of tired, so let's wrap up this story. But first, that's better. I got 2 interviews in late November, even though at this point I probably applied to 150 some companies, and I was complete shit at interviews. My first interview was with Kepler, a company that worked with mini satellites. I think the reason why I was given this interview was because I had a chat with the person working at the booth during the career fair. I kid you not, for the entirety of the interview, which was around 30 minutes, I just stared at the problem statement because I didn't know how to begin to approach the problem. To my defense, this was my first technical interview and I only started leak coding a week prior. Only after that I realized I got asked a leak code hard. Not something you want to face on your first interview. Needless to say, I was not further considered. The second interview I had was with Red Hat, which I also landed because of the career fair and was also a complete disaster. After my embarrassing first interview, I completed some more leak code problems and felt more confident in my skills. But all of that didn't matter because I was asked a systems design question. At this point, I didn't even know design questions could be asked on a technical interview. They didn't even bother to reject me. I straight up got ghosted and never heard back. After these 2 interviews, I didn't get any responses for the whole month of December, which was kind of devastating for me, but I brushed it off and continued to grind. Over winter break, I spent a lot of time polishing up my interview skills and was ready to face the second wave of the recruitment season starting in January. Definitely much more prepared for that than the second wave of the coronavirus. So I smashed the apply button to over 100 companies in the month of January, optimistic of my prospects of getting an interview. But my inbox was dead silent. Then in late January, it was brought up a conversation that my friend got an online assessment from a fast-growing startup based in the Valley when he applied a couple weeks prior. I decided to look into it and I actually applied to Bolt a few months back on November 17th, which I never heard back from. But at this point, I was getting pretty exhausted and also running out of places to apply to, so I decided to try my luck and reapply, which kind of went against the whole reason why I decided to make a spreadsheet, but I'm glad I did because I got the online test. I'm actually so glad this was given to me later rather than in mid-November when I was still new to leak code and would have completely bombed the assessment. But after practicing leak code pretty much every single day, I was able to get a really high score on the assessment and got my first interview in 2 months. This was probably the biggest opportunity I was given throughout my job search, so I was pretty stressed for these interviews. Learning from my past mistakes, improving my answers to behavioral questions, and polishing out my leak code skills, I was able to pass the first 2 interviews and make it to the final round. This is when my luck started to run out. I hopped on the Zoom call at the time specified and waited for the interview to show up. 5 minutes passed, 10 minutes passed, 15. Things got really sus when I was still staring at a blank Zoom screen for 20 minutes. My interviewer never showed up. I emailed the recruiter and there seemed to be a schedule mishap, so I was rescheduled to have the interview in the following week. But during that interview, the fire alarm in my condo building decided to go off. Even through all these complications, I got the offer, and a few months after that, I started my first industry internship. And that's my story, how I was able to land this position. It honestly didn't have to be so complicated, but because I was so late to the game, unsure of how to prepare and play the rules, I had to work really hard to even sit at the table. I hope that by telling you my journey, it will give you some inspiration if you're still on the hunt and help you prepare a little bit better than I did. Even starting today, set aside some time to practice leak code. Ask your friends to do mock interviews or review your resume, and apply early and apply everywhere. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. I'm ready to chill for the rest of the day and settle back to living in Toronto. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.
This is America. Don't catch you slipping now. Don't catch you slipping now.